Okay, when we left off, we were making this axle right here. And what you will notice is that the axle actually sticks out the left side of the box. And considering most of us are not left-handed, placing the crank handle on the left side of the box would just make things a little awkward for us to turn this. So what we're going to do, using our axle as our active component, we're going to come down here and we're going to edit our sketch, or sorry, edit our feature. And what we want to do is we're going to go into extent type in our um, dialog box here, and we're going to change it to object, which is going to pretty much erase the axle, which is okay because all we have to do is just turn it to our left and select the outside of the bushing, and it'll just snap right to that exact length, and we're going to hit OK. Now, considering we want the axle to extend on the right side of the box for most of us dominant right-handed people, we're going to come up here and we're going to hit press pull. And if you're left-handed, you can do the same thing. You still need to go ahead and make this to this side, make it even like we did. But if we get to the press pull portion of it, you can extend the left side while I am extending the right side. But if you are right-handed, you're going to want to select this square and you will just type in 0.25. And like I said, if you were left-handed, you would just press this square and type in 0.25. Okay, so now that we've extended the handle on whichever side we want it to work for us, what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the automaton box at the top and make that our active component. Now that it's our active component, we're going to create a new component and we're going to name it the crank handle. And just like we always do, we will create a sketch, and we want that sketch to be on whatever side that you have extended your handle on. So for me, it's going to be the right side, and I'm going to choose the outside of this axle bushing ring to place my sketch. And I'm just going to hit revert position, and here I go. Alright, so now once I have this, I'm going to create a center diameter circle, and I'm going to place it right here on my origin, and I'm going to pull back, and I want it to be 0.625 in diameter. Now I'm going to create another center diameter circle, and this one I'm going to place on my origin just so I can just drag it straight down to about right here, and I want this one to be 5/16 of an inch. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to kind of turn off all of these other eyeballs on all of the other pieces and components that I've made just so I can really just focus in on these two circles. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the horizontal vertical, and I'm going to constrain the middle of these two circles together so it's always directly below it. Next, I will hit the D key, and I'm going to dimension from the middle of the top circle to the middle of the bottom circle, and I want that to be 1.5 inches. And then next we're going to use the line tool, and we're going to place it on the outside of this circle and the outside of this circle, on the outside of this circle and the outside of this circle. Now, if you get this constraint, the tangent constraint on either circle, it's okay because we're going to place them on there ourselves right now. So if you got one and you select the line and then the circle, you're going to get this error telling you, hey, that's already done. And that's okay. Just continue moving to the line and the rest of the circles that we have built, and you'll see it turn black. Line, circle at the bottom, line, circle at the top, until everything is black and we see all four of those tangent constraints. Now next we're going to come up under create, and we're going to go down to rectangle, and we're going to choose a centered rectangle. And we'll place that center point right here at our origin. And when we drag back, we're going to set both of those two lengths to 0.26, tab, 0.26, enter. And you'll see that will constrain that square to that space. And then last but not least, before we go any other further, we're going to trim away this portion of the circle. Now we can go ahead and finish our sketch and extrude our piece, which is going to be this section right here, here, and here. So three different areas we have to select right through the middle here, and we will hit 0.25 as a distance, and we will hit enter, which creates the portion of the crank itself. And now all we have to do is make the handle so we can grab it. And to do that, we're going to create a sketch, place it right on the outside of the crank handle, use our center circle, and if you touch the outside edge of this arc, you'll be able to move right to the center here, and you'll see that circle pop up, which is the dead point of the circle. And when we drag back, you'll see it snap in that 0.313, the same 5/16 of an inch that we initially made that circle. And we're going to hit Finish Sketch, and we're going to extrude that circle 0.5 of an inch and hit Enter. Now I'm going to turn everything back on so I can see everybody, and I'm going to come up here and make my automaton box my top component, my active component. And you'll see if I grab the crank handle and I attempt to turn it, I'm going to move it right off my axle. So I'm going to hit Control Z to get back to where I want it, and I'm going to come up here to As Built Joint. I want to make sure it's a rigid joint, and I'm going to select first the axle and then my crank handle, and I'm going to hit OK. Now when I turn this, you're going to see it's going to turn the actual axle just like so, like we want it to. Now what we want to do is just modify the physical material of our crank handle. So we're going to make our crank handle our active component, and we're going to modify the physical material, and we're going to make the crank handle that basic plastic that we always use, just like so. And then again, we're going to change the appearance, and since I have the bushings green, let's go ahead and make the crank handle green as well. And when I hit close and I make my automaton box my active component, you will see the somewhat finished product of our crank handle right there. And we are done, and I will see you for the next video shortly.